Big L. On February 15th, 1999, Harlem rapper Big L had his life taken at just the age of 24 years old. Reports say that around 8:30 p.m., an unknown gunman fired 9 shots, striking Big L multiple times in the head and chest, leaving him dead at the scene. This incident shocked the hip-hop world, as Big L is considered one of the most skilled lyricists of his generation. There's reports that prior to his death, he was preparing to relaunch his career with the deal at Rockefeller Records. Not that long after his death, Gerard Woodley, a childhood friend of Big L's, was arrested. This was extremely eerie, as Gerard also appeared on the cover art for Big L's debut album, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, in 1995. When Gerard was arrested, a spokesperson for the New York Police Department said that the death of Big L was possibly in retaliation for something his brother did or was believed to have done. This supports the theory that Big L was an easy target, considering his big brother, Big Lee, was hard to get at due to being incarcerated. It's been said by numerous people that Big L's big brother, Big Lee, had a serious reputation in the streets. Sadly, in 2002, after Big Lee was released, he met the same fate as his brother after his life was taken in the same neighborhood. Apparently, Big Lee was searching for answers about Big L's death. Even sadder that in 2019, Big Lee's son, Leroy, met the same fate as his own father. His life was taken 2 blocks away from where his dad and uncle died. Leroy was set to play his father in the film titled Put It On about Big L's life. Though Gerard Woodley was arrested in connection with the death of Big L, he was never formally charged and ultimately died in 2016 in the same way as Big L. Soulja Slim. Soulja Slim, one of New Orleans' most respected and influential rappers, tragically died on November 26, 2003, right outside his mother's house. It was a death that truly shocked the city. Many believe that jealousy and resentment played a role, as Slim was on the verge of a major comeback. After signing 2 No Limit records, he gained national attention with his 1998 album Give It To 'Em Raw, but his 2001 follow-up, The Streets Made Me, saw far less success. After growing frustration with Master P, Soulja Slim left No Limit and launched his own label, Cutthroat Committee Records, determined to take control of his own career. Before his death, he was on the cusp of being back in the spotlight in a big way due to the song Slow Motion. This was originally Soulja Slim's song before it was given to Juvenile, as he was the hotter artist at the time. This decision turned out to be the correct move, as Juvenile released his 6th album, Juvie the Great, in December of 2003. In March of 2004, Slow Motion was released as a single. It topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 2 weeks.
Like that, she working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me.
Sadly, Soulja Slim never lived to see that success, passing just a month before Juvenile's album, Juvie the Great, was released. In 2003, authorities arrested Jarrell Smith after ballistics linked him to the case. Reports claimed that he was allegedly paid $10,000 to carry out the hit. Smith, known for his violent reputation in New Orleans, was never convicted and died in 2011. Over the years, some have speculated that Master P or others in the industry may have been connected to Soulja Slim's death, though there's no concrete evidence to support those theories. Some people also believe that Soulja Slim's death was likely tied to his street affiliations and reputation. Mack Dre. Mack Dre is a Bay Area rap legend and pioneer of the hyphy movement. On November 1st in 2004, he was taken out after leaving a late night show in Kansas City, Missouri. Mack Dre was only 34 years old. It's reported that after leaving the show, a vehicle pulled up beside the driver's side of the van he was in and started to unload shots. Following his death, the Kansas City Police Department launched a massive investigation. Damon Whitmill, who was in charge of Dre's shows and appearances while in Kansas City, was interviewed by police and gave conflicting statements. In an interview the day after Mack Dre died, Damon told detectives that he lost money. Then in another interview, he said that he broke even, and another time he explained that he made money by profiting nearly $6,000. Mack Dre reportedly missed his scheduled radio appearance and showed up late to a record store signing, which was supposed to be promotion for the show. He also came late to the show, which led to Damon having to rent the venue for another hour, which cost him more money. On top of that, the show was shut down early due to safety concerns because of Mack Dre's entourage crowding the stage. After the show, fellow Bay Area legends such as Yuckmouth and Keke left Kansas City as they were booked for the show also. In an interview with DJ Vlad, Yuckmouth explained that Damon paid big money for them to perform, but there weren't a lot of people there. Instead of waiting around for the money, he opted to leave and get his back end wired to him. For whatever reason, Mack Dre stayed and agreed to perform for a VIP Halloween party that was set up by Damon, which did not go according to plan as well. Savino Davila, a friend of Mack Dre's from Kansas City, said that he spoke to Dre in a limo outside the party. Mind you, this is the man who allegedly owned the van that was provided to Mack Dre, which he died in. Dre was reportedly annoyed and felt that the event was unorganized. Mack Dre also did not feel safe. Savino also explained that Damon was upset after Mack Dre left without performing. Not that long after this is when the events took place that led to Mack Dre's death. Following his death, there were rumors that a Kansas City rapper named Fat Tone had something to do with it. Word on the street was that he made a song dissing and taking credit for what happened, but no such song has ever been found. In 2005, Fat Tone and his friend's life was taken by Bay Area rapper Mack Minister, which many believe to be retaliation for what happened a year prior to Mack Dre. Members of law enforcement don't believe that Fat Tone was involved in the death of Mack Dre, which makes his death all the more tragic. Two men, Papoose and T-Baby, were later looked at as possible gunmen tied to the death of Mack Dre. Both had reputations on a street level in Kansas City, and their names appeared frequently in police documents. As of 2025, no arrests have been made as the case is still unsolved. For more information about the case, I highly suggest that you read this article that I'll put a link to in the description. It breaks down 1,200 documents from the Kansas City Police Department regarding the case and who may have been responsible. Tupac. On the night of September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur attended the Mike Tyson vs. Bruce Seldon boxing match at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. After the fight, Tupac was reportedly amped up after seeing his friend Mike's quick victory. Moments later, tensions flared when Tupac and several death row associates jumped Orlando Anderson, a member of the Southside Compton Crips. This stemmed from an altercation that took place 2 months earlier between members of the Southside Crips and Death Row at a mall in Lakewood, California. Tupac wasn't there for this particular incident, but after Orlando was pointed out, he went into attack mode. Later that evening, Tupac and Suge were on their way to Club 662, a nightclub owned by Suge Knight, when a white Cadillac pulled up alongside their black BMW at a Las Vegas intersection and opened fire. Tupac was hit 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, and once in the thigh. This is while Suge Knight was grazed by a bullet but survived. Tupac was rushed to the University Medical Center where he underwent multiple surgeries. His condition worsened over the next 6 days, and on September 13th, 1996, he died from his injuries at just 25 years old. His death shocked the world and immediately became one of hip-hop's most infamous unsolved cases, spawning countless conspiracy theories. Rumors implicated Death Row Records, Bad Boy Records, and even the Las Vegas Police Department. I have a whole video breaking down the various conspiracy theories about the case. I'll put a link to it in the description for you guys. Authorities claimed a lack of cooperating witnesses hindered the investigation, though some reports suggest Yaki Gaddafi, a member of Tupac's group The Outlaws, had agreed to testify before he died not that long after. Today, Tupac's case remains officially unsolved, but there has been renewed interest following the 2023 arrest of Dwayne Keke D. Davis, the only surviving member of the group allegedly in the white Cadillac that night. The three other men, Orlando Anderson, Big Dre, and Terry Brown, have all since died. Keke D has publicly claimed that Diddy, the founder of Bad Boy Records, who had a feud with Death Row, offered money for the hit on Tupac. This is one of the most popular theories surrounding the case. As Keke D's trial approaches, some believe it may finally bring long-awaited answers to one of music's greatest mysteries. Biggie Smalls. On the night of March 9, 1997, the Notorious B.I.G. attended a star-studded Vibe magazine after-party at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, California. Just after midnight, he left the event and got into the front passenger seat of a GMC Suburban, accompanied by his entourage. While stopped at a red light, a Chevy Impala pulled up beside them and opened fire, hitting Biggie 4 times. He was rushed to the hospital when he was pronounced dead at only 24 years old. His death came just 6 months after Tupac's, with many questioning why Biggie would go to the West Coast so soon. This is especially because of the belief and theory that Bad Boy Records was behind it. Like Tupac's case, Biggie's death remains one of hip-hop's biggest unsolved mysteries. Numerous conspiracy theories have emerged over the years, with some pointing to Death Row Records as retaliation for Tupac's death, while others suspect an inside job involving Bad Boy Records. The LAPD was even sued by Biggie's family in a wrongful death lawsuit citing alleged police involvement, but this case was eventually dismissed in 2010. Witnesses described the shooter as a black man from the Nation of Islam wearing a blue suit and bow tie, leading to early accusations against Amir Muhammad. By 2000, Muhammad was no longer looked at as a suspect. He was adamant that he did not do the crime, as he was a mortgage broker who happened to have a connection with David Mack, a former LAPD officer who was accused of playing a role in Biggie's death. Further speculation arose around Wardell Poochie Faust, a known Death Row affiliate who was rumored to have carried out a hit on Suge Knight's orders. However, Poochie himself died in 2003 before any charges could be brought against him. Others believe that Diddy may have had some sort of involvement, as Biggie was allegedly planning to leave Bad Boy Records. Many believe that he set Biggie up because he was supposed to be in London, England for a promotional tour in order to promote his at the time upcoming album Life After Death. Depending on who you ask, Biggie was supposed to fly out to London the day after he died or sometime before. Once again, depending on who you ask, either Diddy talked Biggie into going to LA or made him go. This is all while Biggie was recovering from injuries that he had sustained in a car crash not that long before this. Un Rivera, a business partner and friend of Biggie's, once told a story about how he told Biggie to stay in his hotel room. Biggie informed him that Diddy wanted him to come to an after party for the Soul Train Music Awards. Lance doubled down and told Biggie to stay in his room, which Biggie promised to do. This ended up being the last conversation that they had, as Biggie attended the afterparty, which was a deadly mistake. Sadly, nearly 30 years later after Biggie's death, his case remains unsolved and might remain that way for years to come. Stack Bundles. Stack Bundles, a promising rapper from Far Rockaway, Queens, was taken from this earth on June 11, 2007 at just 24 years old. Around 5 a.m., as he returned home to his apartment complex, Stack was ambushed and hit multiple times with bullets in the lobby. At the time, he was on the brink of national success, collaborating with Jim Jones, Max B, and Bird Gang while earning recognition for his sharp lyricism and standout mixtapes. Despite his rising fame, Stack continued living alone in his Far Rockaway apartment with his 2006 Porsche Boxster parked outside. After his death, Stack's aunt revealed that he had expressed fears for his safety, saying that he felt threatened by jealous neighbors in his public housing complex. Over the years, Jim Jones, the head of Bird Gang, has faced criticism from fans and peers who've accused him of holding Stack's career back, jacking his style, and failing to help him leave Queens. Even Cameron, a fellow member of his group Dipset, has echoed these accusations, suggesting that similar issues arose with Max B, another one of Jim Jones' artists who later landed in prison.
Jim has never put an artist out. I got all the artists. I got all the talent. I was in the street recruiting all these rappers. Jim ended up getting some rappers, and what he did was use them for his album instead of putting them out. Max B may not be in jail if you put his album out. Or Stack Bundles might have got out of Far Rock if we had an album out. Jim never put these people album out, you know what I'm saying?
In a chilling twist, the day Stack Bundles was laid to rest, a suspect in his case was found dead in Queens. To this day, both cases remain unsolved, leaving fans and loved ones searching for answers. Fat Pat. Fat Pat, a beloved Houston rapper and member of the legendary Screwed Up clique, had his life taken on February 3rd in 1998 at just 27 years old. Fat Pat went to an apartment complex to collect money owed from a show booking. From here, there's conflicting stories of what exactly happened. Depending on who you ask, Pat was either taken out in the hallway of the apartment building or inside the apartment of the promoter. Those who believe that the promoter took out Fat Pat believe the theory of the promoter believing that Fat Pat has something to do with him being robbed by an associate of his. The promoter is a man by the name of Kenneth Weasel Watson. He was never charged for Pat's death, as his case still remains unsolved. Unfortunately, Fat Pat's brother, Big Hawk, met the same fate in 2006 after being taken out by an unknown assailant at a friend's house in South Houston. Just like Pat, his case is also sadly unsolved, and there's some that think that their fates are connected, but this has never been substantiated. Pat's death came right before the release of his debut album, Ghetto Dreams. His death significantly impacted the remaining members of the Screwed Up clique and Houston's rap scene. Scott LaRock. Scott LaRock, one of the founding members of the legendary Boogie Down Productions, is remembered as the first major figure in hip-hop to die in an act of violence. On August 27th, 1987, at just 25 years old, Scott was fatally struck with a bullet in the head and neck while sitting in a Jeep outside the Highbridge Garden Homes in the Bronx. He had gone there to help his crewmate D Nice, who had gotten into trouble after talking to another man's girlfriend. When the situation escalated, Scott tried to calm things down, but after tensions flared and his crew got into an altercation, shots were fired and he ended up being struck. 2 teenagers were later arrested for his case, but were acquitted in 1989 after witnesses refused to come forward, leaving the case unsolved. However, Scott's death quickly became surrounded by conspiracy theories, with many believing it was more than a street dispute gone wrong. Some close to BDP claim that Scott was targeted because of record label conflicts. Said G, who worked on BDP's debut album, stated that Scott was against selling their contract to Jive Records, while other BDP members and B-Boy Records wanted the deal to go through. According to Said G, Scott's resistance to the deal made him a target. Scott wasn't just a DJ. He also served as the business mind of the group due to his degree in the field. Before his death, Warner Brothers had reportedly offered BDP $275,000, but after the tragedy, that offer was withdrawn and the group ultimately signed with Jive Records. Whether or not these claims are true, Scott La Rock's death remains one of hip-hop's earliest and most haunting mysteries, symbolizing how quickly the genre's rise to success was met with tragedy. Camoflauge. Camoflauge was a rising rapper from Savannah, Georgia, who had his life taken on May 19th in 2003 outside his home studio, Pure Pain Records, just as his career was beginning to take off. He was outside walking his toddler son when he was struck with bullets. His son was unharmed. It was reported that his death was tied to a string of local homicides in 2003. Some people also have the belief that Camoflauge's death was retaliation for the death of Kenneth Boo Capers in 2000. Cam was held in county jail for 3 months in connection with the case, but a grand jury failed to indict him. A man by the name of Dorian Orr was arrested after 4 people died in a 5-day period in 2003, with the police suspecting that Dorian may have been involved in some of the cases, though he was only charged with the death of Michael Grant. He was initially convicted in the Grant case before the decision was overturned. After the decision was overturned, he entered a plea in return for a 20-year prison sentence. Though police might have suspected that he was involved in the death of Camoflauge, there's no solid proof that he had any involvement. Because of this, Cam's death still remains unsolved, as we don't have an official motive for why it happened, nor has anyone been taken into custody in connection with the crime. It's known that Camoflauge had a street past, with some believing that this might have played a role in this, while others suspect that jealousy was a motive instead. However, his legacy lives on through his daughter Flau'jae Johnson, who currently plays basketball for the LSU Tigers. She's also a rapper just like her dad when she's not on the court. If you'd like to know more about Cam's life and the events leading up to his death, I strongly suggest that you watch the documentary about him on his daughter's YouTube channel. Drakeo The Ruler. On December 18, 2021, the influential Los Angeles rapper Drakeo The Ruler was attacked backstage at the Once Upon a Time in LA music festival. The attack happened shortly before he was scheduled to perform. Witnesses described a scene of a large group of men confronting Drakeo, and amid the struggle, he was hit in the neck with a knife. Afterwards, he was rushed to a nearby hospital but died from his injuries the next day on December 19th. He was only 28 years old. His death happened when he really started making a name for himself. He beat some very serious charges in 2019 and came home in 2020 after accepting a plea deal. Prior to his death, Drakeo was very vocal about how solitary confinement while he was locked up really affected him. Some people believe this heavily affected his mental state, and despite the success he was having after being released, he was focused on the wrong things, such as beefing with various rappers. His song Ingleweird, a very disrespectful diss to the whole city of Inglewood, California, was seen as a bad move and one that could have potentially cost him his life. After his death, Drakeo's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit as they believed his death was because of negligence due to a lack of security backstage when everything happened. There's a video that you can find online of the incident, but obviously it's too graphic for me to show you. I believe the wrongful death lawsuit is still ongoing. Some also suggest that foul play was involved. Drakeo's mother did an interview with Rolling Stone following his death and mentioned that she spoke to witnesses. Those at the scene told her that the large group of people arrived at the same time that Compton rapper B.I.G came. Despite there being a video of what happened, Drakeo's case still remains unsolved. If you've seen the video, then you know how many people were there. There's a bunch of rumors of who may have been involved, but as of 2025, there's nothing concrete. Stretch. On November 30th, 1995, Queens rapper Stretch had his life ended via a drive-by. Around midnight, after dropping off some people, Stretch was ambushed by another vehicle that pulled up beside him and opened fire. His minivan crashed shortly after, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. This came exactly 1 year to the day after Tupac was ambushed in New York, an incident that had deeply affected their relationship and fueled speculation about whether the two events were connected. Stretch had been a close friend and collaborator of Tupac, performing as part of the group Live Squad and contributing to several of Tupac's early projects. But their relationship became strained after the 1994 Quad Studio incident. Stretch was there during the incident, and Tupac was upset that Stretch did not ride for him when he was being attacked. He also didn't like how Stretch didn't see him when he was locked up and started hanging out with Biggie, who was also there the same night of the Quad Studio incident.
I got shot. I'm like, yo, what happened? Come see me in jail. Biggie all in the air, talking about, yeah, Parker's my homeboy wound, but not seeing me. My homeboy Stretch is going to Biggie's concerts. Niggas is like abandoning me. But all in the air and on TV, they like, yeah, Pop, rest, keep the struggle on. I was like, yo, I'm starting to turn into like Slick Rick. Niggas is just gonna act like I'm gonna just be in jail and they gonna give me shout outs and try to take my position. And if you watch, that's what Biggie did.
While many close to Stretch denied that he was involved, the tension between the two added to the mystery and controversy surrounding his death. When Stretch's death was reported, the police did not have any suspects or determined a motive. They looked into a possible connection between his death and the Quad Studio incident, but as we know, they couldn't find any hard evidence to link the two. Lil Jojo. For the 12th and last entry of this video, I really struggled with who I wanted to put. I went back and forth between a few names, but I ultimately picked Lil Jojo. He was still upcoming at the time of his death, but it was the impact of his death that made me put him here. On September 4th, 2012, Chicago rapper Lil Jojo was taken out while riding his bike in the Inglewood neighborhood of the city's south side after tweeting his location. He was just 18 years old. His death happened shortly after he posted a video on social media taunting rival rappers associated with Chief Keef's Glory Boys entertainment crew, including Lil Reese. Lil Jojo's death marked one of the early high-profile tragedies in the emerging Chicago drill music scene. He gained attention for his diss track BDK 300K, which directly dissed members of GBE and their gang affiliations. It's noted that this song changed the direction of the drill scene forever.
Cause we bringing pressure, and this is not a diss zone, this is just a message.
There was a ton of controversy around his death, with Chief Keef and Lil Reese mocking his death online. This sparked public outrage and intense media coverage. Police investigated whether social media activity had played a role in escalating the violence, but no one was ever formally charged with Jojo's death. 2012 is the year that Chicago's drill scene broke through, but it was also a very violent year for the city. Jojo's death further fueled the beef between the BDs and the GDs in the city that led to numerous disses on tracks and havoc in the streets. And just like that, we come to the end of this video. I really appreciate everyone who stuck through to the end. Just a reminder that a lot of the theories in this video are alleged, as all of these cases are still unsolved. All of the suspects that I named are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. As always, let me know what you guys thought and what you would like to see me cover next. All in all, I love you guys with all my heart. Peace.